Last week, we told you about plans to move Youngstown's oldest church to one of its most historic parks. Tonight, we've learned the move is still being worked on, that the announcement may have been premature. Youngstown's mayor is not yet totally on board. He can still be swayed, but today said the church can never be a financial burden for the city. 27 investigates moving the church to the park. Youngstown Mayor Tito Brown this afternoon clarified the city's position on moving the 157-year-old Welsh Congregational Church to Wick Park.
Nothing's a done deal. You know, nothing's a done deal until you're sitting in Wick Park and having it.
Last Friday, Youngstown Cityscape announced plans to move Welsh Congregational in the next 4 to 6 weeks from its current location on Elm Street next to St. Columba Cathedral to Wick Park.
This is a successful example of what saving a church and revitalizing it to make it a community asset can look like.
Councilwoman Lauren McNally knew nothing about it.
I found out about it when I got invited to the fundraiser.
Discussions to move the church started 2 years ago after the Catholic Diocese bought the historic church and asked that it be moved. Among the options were near the new amphitheater downtown or adjacent to the Steel Museum across from the cathedral. Both were nixed, and somehow Wick Park was chosen.
It is just appalling to me.
Emily Schaff, a descendant of the Wick family which donated the park, is against moving the church to Wick Park.
It is a pedestrian park. It is for running. It is for tennis courts, but it needs renovation. If you look at Cityscape's website, they list the work that needs to be done there. There is no mention of we need a new building for meeting houses.
I was told other Wick descendants approve of moving the church to the park, though they want to remain anonymous. Emily Schaff has a suggestion.
But if the city or the land banks could donate some of the land that is around the park, which is in so need of attention.
Mayor Brown is not opposed to putting the church at Wick Park, but he wants a plan in writing so that it's cared for in the long term, with very little city money being used.
I need an endowment fund with this project. When I talk about private investment, I need long-term investment.
I would absolutely love to have some formal meetings with Cityscape to go over what their plan is for this project.
I talked with a Cityscape official who said the city would get the money from renting the church, but would also be responsible for maintaining it. They admitted there's no signed agreement, but were relying on what were called good faith negotiations. Cityscape officials have also said by placing the church at Wick Park, it can be used like the St. James Meeting House in Boardman Park. But a Boardman Park official tells me that St. James loses money. Barring major projects, it costs about $24,000 a year to maintain it, with 300 weddings bringing in about $15,000. That's a loss of about $9,000 a year.